They are titans of the rails, weighing almost 500,000 pounds. Highly efficient at performing their job of hauling freight and passengers throughout the world. However, when accidents occur, the results are devastating. The most common and deadly rail accidents in the United States occur at railway crossings. Most railroad deaths are not caused by one train hitting another, but by trains hitting cars and buses. But people ignore the danger. In the United States, once every 90 minutes, a vehicle and a train collide. In 1996, there were over 4,000 rail crossing accidents. 472 people were killed, and over 1,500 were seriously injured. Even though warning signs are everywhere, many people just ignore them. Some survive, like the driver of this truck that stopped on a rail crossing for over 2 minutes. But thousands aren't so lucky. A demonstration conducted by the National Transportation Safety Board shows why. When a 2,000-pound vehicle and a 200,000-pound locomotive collide, there is no contest. No seatbelt, no airbag, no child safety seat, not even a roll bar is enough to protect a passenger in this type of collision.
What it comes down to is a train traveling at 40 miles an hour is very, very massive, and a 1,000 or 2,000, 3,000 pound automobile doesn't have a chance under those conditions. That's why we have so many devastating grade crossing accidents. But the comparison that I like is a train hitting an automobile at a grade crossing from 40 miles per hour is about the same as you hitting a sparrow in your automobile.
I think that people all too often assume that there will not be a train coming. They should always expect a train, and all too often in our complacency and getting from place to place, we forget that there's a crossing within a few miles of our own home.
Most people don't give crossing railroad tracks a second thought. However, with over 260,000 railway crossings in the United States, nearly everyone has a chance to become a statistic. This home video, shot at a suburban station outside of Chicago, is an example of people ignoring warning signals. With bells ringing and horns blowing, people still cross the tracks. The woman in black is the only person to heed the warnings. Unfortunately, the next two people are not as cautious. Many fail to realize that even a slow-moving train can't stop quickly, and that it can't steer to avoid a collision.
It can't swerve, it can't go anywhere. The responsibility for avoiding a collision really falls to the motorist, because the motorist can stop. It takes several hundred feet to stop a car or even a semi-truck, but it takes more than a mile to stop a train.
One tragedy in Fox River Grove, Illinois, brought the dangers of railway crossings to the forefront of public concern. On October 25, 1995, a school bus full of 34 rambunctious children was running late. A substitute driver was filling in on the route for the very first time. The bus stopped at a traffic light, a routine event. The driver didn't realize that the back of the bus was still sitting over the railroad tracks.
The train engineer saw the bus slowly going over the tracks, and his testimony at the public hearing was, I said, "Oh God, keep moving." And the bus did keep moving very slowly, and then it stopped. And when it stopped, the train engineer slammed the train into emergency, approximately 500 feet from the grade crossing.
The train slammed into the stopped bus, ripping the bus body off of the chassis. The body flew 42 feet. Emergency crews rushed to the scene and began the gruesome task of tending to the injured and pulling out the dead. 5 children died immediately. 2 more were fatally injured. 10 had serious injuries. The NTSB investigation confirmed that there was not enough room between the signal and the train tracks for the bus to stop.
There were no signs there to tell the bus driver how much space there was on the other side, and in fact there was about 35 feet of space. The bus is 39 feet long. And at the last minute she looked in the mirror, saw the students running forward, and that's when the impact occurred.
Graphic test footage of a staged crash demonstrates the deadly results of a train colliding with a bus. Railway crossings will remain a potential danger as long as pedestrians and motorists continue to ignore warning signals.
The fact of the matter is, if you see the train, don't take the risk. Wait till it goes by. A train moving at 55 miles an hour is clearing 88 feet per second. And if you think about that, a second is not a very long period of time. It might take you a couple of minutes for a freight train that's a mile long to go by, and that's a couple of minutes that could save your life.